Peace and blessings. Welcome to my channel. My name is TRU and I'm a certified financial coach. I'm also the founder of TRU Financial Coaching, where our mission here is to enlighten you, equip you, and educate you on the financial literacy in order to help you escape the rat wheel. What is the rat wheel? Well, the rat wheel is when one is constantly financing things that go down in value for them and up in value for the banks. And then they're wondering why they can never make any progress. And that's what a rat wheel is. You know, the rat is constantly moving in one place but not making any progress. Once the rat stops running, then the wheel stops being powered. Once one wakes up and realizes that they've been powering the rat wheel all along by financing things that go down in value, keeping them in debt, then once they wake up and realize that, then they can get off the rat wheel. I can say that because that was me. You know, I financed things that went down in value for me and up in value for the banks. Financed cars. That was basically it for me. It was just a lot of cars. Didn't have credit card debt. Didn't finance furniture. You know. But those are things people finance that depreciate, you know. But I would finance cars, pay it off, jump back into another finance car. Pay that off, jump back into another finance car. Why? Didn't know. But that was me constantly powering that rat race, powering that rat wheel. It wasn't until I woke up, realized, look, something ain't right. And I always knew something wasn't right, just couldn't put my finger on it. But as I said before in previous videos, it wasn't until COVID that I woke up and saw that, you know, look, if I was to stop getting paid, then I would lose everything. And mind you, this was after, you know, me working 20, 22, 23 years in the education field, and prior to that, you know, working while I was in college and you know, over the summers in high school. So working since I was like 16 years old. And all it would take was one pandemic where if things would have, you know, stopped coming in for me as far as my money, you know, income, then I would have been stuck. So that was a wake-up call for me. Realize, look, something ain't right. I got to do something about this. And this is when, you know, during that time of COVID, I just started educating myself, watching videos, reading books, trial and error with certain things, you know, but learn how to create a budget, found a strategy to get out of debt, you know, and I did that, you know, applied it to my finances, and you know, a couple of years later, debt free except for my mortgage. You know, so it's possible, it's doable. It just one has to have a plan and has to stick with the plan and be disciplined and consistent, and then you'll see results. You know, and that's what this video is pretty much about. You know, how to help you get to your journey, how to help you on your journey to get to your destination, whatever that financial destination may be. But for a lot of people, it's getting out of debt, you know, being able to have money saved up for emergencies and for retirements, you know, and being able to, most importantly, you know, own the time in your life, as I often say, because it's not always about the money, but it's about the time that, you know, we sell our time to our employers. We sell our time to the banks. You know, somebody say, well, how do we sell our time to our employers? You get paid by the hour, right? So you're selling your time. Yes, you're being paid for your services, you know, but you're selling your time to get paid for your services. And many people are selling their time for pennies. You know, many people are selling their time, you know, to the banks, you know, for the objects that depreciate. You know, and when you sell your time to the bank, somebody say, well, how did you do that? When you sign that contract for 84-month lease or 84-month car loan, you know, or you sign that contract for a 30-year mortgage, you know, you're selling your time to the banks. And again, I'm not against mortgages, you know, but as I said in the previous video, it doesn't take 30 years to pay off a mortgage, right? It doesn't take 15 years to pay off a mortgage. But, you know, my goal, or my what I'm here to do is help people, you know, and as a financial coach, that's what we do. You know, a financial coach is not a financial advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. No, I don't give investment advice. I don't give stock tips. You know, I'm not a credit repair person. I don't do that. You know, as a financial coach, I'm an educator. I'm a motivator. You know, I inspire people. I educate people to do better with their finances. And, you know, like I said, I went on that journey for myself, and I'm still on my journey. You know, because even though, you know, I eliminated all consumer debt. Consumer debt, you know, is car loans, mortgages. I mean, not mortgages. I'm sorry, car loans, credit cards, personal loans. You know, those are consumer debt, high interest debt that kills one's wealth. You know, but, you know, I had to get out of that. I had to get out of those things. And like I said, I educated myself through watching videos and reading books. And now it's my mission to help people, you know, because as a financial coach, that's what we do. We sit down with individuals, you know, and we listen to them. You know, I listen to the individuals, and that's what I have with my consultations. I listen to the individual to see where they are mentally, because a lot of paying off debt and taking control of your finances, a lot of it is mental, because we've been conditioned to think a type of way, and we've been programmed to have a certain type of mindset, and we've established and created these habits of spending, and not all of them are good habits, but a lot of them are bad habits. You know, we've developed these habits, and we've created a frame of mindset that now that mindset must now shift. It must change if one wants to be free. You know, that mindset must change. So this is what I do. I sit down and I listen, because a lot of times, you know, when you're in debt, and when you're, you know, have a certain mindset towards money, we say things that we don't even realize we're saying. And it's not until you come on the other side and come out of that, that now you can hear, you know, what that individual is saying, and they don't even realize they're saying it. You know, somebody say, well, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? All right, so here's one example. You know, some people say, well, everybody has debt. People say that everybody has debt. No, that's not true. Everybody don't has debt. You know, but people say that, you know, so loosely, like it's so common. You know, and it may be common, but it's not normal. But there are people out here that don't have debt. You know, but people say, well, I'm going to die with debt. That's a mindset. You know, you say things like that, that tells me where your mind is at. So that now that mindset has to shift. You know, and the way that mindset shifts, it starts from within. You know, the individual has to get tired of the condition which they're in, and look at it like this is not normal. You know, yeah, it's common, but it's not normal. You know, some things people say, they brag about their credit limit. You know, I listen to things like that. People say, you know, I got a $10,000 credit limit. I got a $50,000 credit limit. Okay, why are you bragging about that for? You know, it's not your money. Why are you bragging about the bank's money that they loaned you, they lent you, allowed you to use and borrow? It's not your money. But when people say that, that tells me where their mindset is at, And I'm not saying, again, there's nothing wrong with credit card use. I'm not against credit card use. And I want to make that clear, because some people may think that, he's against credit card use. I'm not against credit card use, because, I have a credit card. I have 2 credit cards. I have one for my travel, one for my personal, and I use these things. I use them as tools. That's all they are. But I pay them off, boom, before the end of the month. Sometimes I pay them off the same week, even if it's not a due date. I just pay it because it's a tool. I have the money. I use it as a tool to rent vehicles, to get hotels or whatever, but I make sure I had the money to pay it by the end of the week, before the end of the month. So there's nothing wrong with credit card use, but it's credit card debt, and when people brag about credit cards and they brag about their credit limits, that lets me know their mindset, right? Because credit card debt is a problem. It's a problem. And the reason why many have credit card debt is because they don't know how to use the tool. Just like a hammer or a chainsaw, if you don't know how to use those tools, you're going to hurt yourself. And the problem is, people don't know how to use credit cards wisely, and at the end of the day, they hurt themselves. So credit cards, I know they're not the enemy, but it's the lack of knowledge of how to use a credit card is what destroys people. And the lack of knowledge of how to use credit cards is so impactful and so deadly that, the amount of credit card debt in the United States is over $1 trillion. So don't tell me that, nothing wrong with using credit cards. Right, nothing is wrong with using credit cards, but people don't know how to use the credit cards. And when individuals boast about their credit card limit, that lets me know you really don't know how to use that tool. But as a financial coach, what we do, we help you create a plan. I listen to you, see where you are, see what you're trying to do, what your goals are, help you create a plan to reach those goals. Look at your tracking, look at your spending habits, look at your bank statements, over, 3-month span of time. Because a lot of times, people don't even take a minute to look at their bank statements. They don't even look at the bank statements. And I'm guilty of that. And I can talk like this, again, because it was me. And I'm not talking like this to shame anyone. That's not what I'm doing. My objective is to help people. And I can use my own self as an example, because, again, we get bank statements in the mail and we just toss them to the side. We don't even open them sometimes. We don't even open it, and we don't even look to see the patterns that we've created in our spending. We just swipe, push enter, swipe, push submit, swipe, push return, and we don't even calculate the amount that we're spending. So we look at those, we look at your we track your spending by looking at your bank statements, see where the holes are at. And then we help you patch up those holes so you're not leaking, your money, wondering where my money went. Instead of knowing where it goes. So a lot of times you look at people, myself included, you look at our bank statements, and if you take a look and you see how much money we spend on things like eating out all the time, and we spend on things like Amazon, and little things that add up over the course of the month. And then when you add those totals up, it's like, wow, I spent $300 this month on DoorDash. I spent $150 on Amazon, Like, why is that? Why is that we don't know these things? We just spend it a little bit here, a little bit there, but then at the end of the month, that stuff adds up. So we help you to see these things. I look at the bank statements and I organize your spending in categories, and I let you see these things. And those individuals that have, reached out to me and acquired my services, when I've done those things, they're amazed. They're amazed. And I'm not saying, that you can't spend on the things that you like to spend, but this is where then after we do that, we create a budget. We help you sit down. We sit down with you and we create a budget. And, it's your budget. Like I tell people, it's your money. You can spend it any way you want, but the key is organizing it and knowing where your money is going. So we create a budget. We create the budget for a couple, a month in advance, 2 weeks or to a month in advance. And we sit down with you, create your budget. Nothing wrong with ordering DoorDash, but you want to allot yourself a certain amount of money. You don't just want to be spending on DoorDash, just willy-nilly, freestyling it on DoorDash. You want to assign your dollars a job, because your money should be working for you, right? Your money should be working for you, and you got to put your money to work, and so you create a budget, different categories, your expenses first, your utilities, your rent or mortgage, those things, then you put your debts, also your savings and things of that nature. And you'd be surprised, people when they sit down with me and they go through this process and they see how much they have at the end of the month. It's like they look at me like, wait, did I forget something? They look at me like, eyes light up, big smile on the face. And it's like, look, you had the money all along. It's just a matter of organizing it, right? And that's what I do as a financial coach. Again, I educate, I enlighten, and I equip you with that financial literacy to help you do better with your finances. And it doesn't matter, how much money you make or how little money you make. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As long as you have everything organized, it doesn't matter. Yes, you do. The bigger the income, the better, obviously, because that way it can help you get to your goals faster. But it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you have 6-figure earners that are living paycheck to paycheck. You have people earning 6 figures, doctors and lawyers and engineers and bankers, right? And teachers that are living paycheck to paycheck, simply because they don't budget, they don't organize their finances, they don't tell their dollars where to go. And when you don't give that order, it's just gonna be confusion. And like I said, that was me. That was me, living paycheck to paycheck. A math teacher, a math teacher, and I couldn't even manage my own money. And that's another thing. It doesn't matter how smart you are. It doesn't matter, what your career is. Because this information hasn't been taught, then it's like using a chainsaw without instructions. It's like giving somebody a blowtorch and they don't even know how to turn it on. They don't know how to handle it. They're going to cause a mess. And that's how it is with finances. Money is a tool. And because we weren't taught how to use that tool properly, we make a mess. We follow the patterns of our parents, and not saying our parents want to do us wrong. It's just that they didn't know, because if they're not taught, they just follow the patterns of their parents, and if their parents ain't taught, then it's just going to trickle down, and that's the continuous cycle. So it's not until one becomes educated. It's not until one becomes educated that then they can, begin to achieve the financial goals. So again, as a financial coach, that's what I do. I help you on your journey. Again, when I sit down with individuals, I tell them, look, this is your money. You can do whatever it is you want to it. You can assign it any way you want. It's just my job to guide you and just give you some recommendations. And the people that I've been working with, they've been very thankful. And I'm even more honored that people would even reach out to me. Because again, when it comes to personal finances, people are so very sensitive about that. And for individuals to come and talk to me and share information with me, I'm honored by that. I'm honored by that because you have some married couples don't even know how much debt their spouse has. Married couples, they share their bodies with each other, but they won't share their credit report. A married couple, married couples been married for years, kids together, share their bodies together, share their innermost secrets with each other, but they won't share their finances or share their credit report with one another. Isn't that something? That says a lot. And there's a lot of married couples like that. So again, what I do is I help individuals to get to where they want to go. And as a financial coach, when I help people, I got certified through Dave Ramsey, his financial coach master training program. I got certified through that, and it was very, very helpful. It helped me to help people, right? And it helped me to help people, not just that alone, but also my own experience and just being able to interact with people and listen to people, right? But with Dave Ramsey and his philosophy, I'm not knocking it. It's excellent, especially if you just starting out, his baby steps, wonderful. And I did a series on that, on his 7 baby steps, where he tell people, follow these baby steps to reach financial peace. I did a whole series on that. I'll put the link to that playlist in the description box. But what I've been learning and what I've been seeing, and even when I first started becoming a financial coach, just going through the process, personal finances is not a one-size-fits-all type of glove or item, hat or whatever. It's not one-size-fits-all. Every individual is different. Every circumstance is different. And yes, Dave Ramsey, his plan has helped millions of people. But there's people that have tried his plan, but they stopped because, they just felt as though, look, this is too much for me. Where, he says, eat beans and rice. Okay, I get it. Not literally eat beans and rice all the time, but just kind of cut back on some things, and I do agree. But you're not really you don't want to, and a budget is not like a restrictive thing where you can't do anything, but it's just an organizer, a planner, controlling your finances instead of your finances being out of control. So what I've learned is that when you sit down with individuals as a financial coach, you have to treat each person on an individual basis, right? Because everyone is different. Family size may be different. Income may be different. It's a lot of factors, so when it comes to making a plan, I keep people on track, but Dave Ramsey says $1,000 emergency fund, right? I may not say $1,000 emergency fund, depending upon the situation. You may need more. If you're married with kids and you have your job is unstable, might need a little bit more. I might recommend a little bit more, maybe a month's worth of expenses to get started. So it varies, and that's what I see. That's what I'm learning. That's what I've learned in being a financial coach and dealing with people, that personal finances is just that. It's personal. Yes, the same principles and concepts will apply, but you have to adjust it based on the individual. So, many people, they're scared to, talk about their finances. You're scared to talk about finances, but you can't be scared to talk about your finances. We taught about money, a little bit that we taught, but many people, you ask many people, they don't even have $1,000 in an emergency. If something happens, they can't even afford $1,000 emergency. I ask people if they budget, they don't budget. They just spend because they feel as though, well, I earned it, I can do what I want. Okay, yeah. But again, when you organize your finances and you create a plan, now you have order in your life with your finances. And when things are not in order, there's nothing but confusion. Nothing but confusion. So again, financial coaching is something I love. I love working with individuals, injecting that hope in people. And people that reached out to me, I'm very appreciative for them. And they say thank God for me, but I thank God for them. I thank God for them. And that's another thing, yes, I am a minister in the church I attend, but this is the separation, right? I'm a minister in the church that I attend, but what I'm doing here is separate from what I do with the church, So, because I don't want people to think they reach out to me and we're gonna ask me questions, but we're not talking about Bible questions, right? We're talking about your personal finances. And I tell people, look, you don't have to refer to me as the title that me in church. Just call me Taj. But right now, that's who I am. I'm Taj, right? So don't look at me as the minister in the church or the office that I hold in the church. No, I'm Taj, and you have to keep that separation when you're dealing with your finances, right? I just want to throw that out there. So in case people want to reach out to me in the future, don't look at it like this is a church thing. No, this is my business. This is my business. Again, I thank you. Also, I thank you for the YouTube subscribers and the shares and the likes and the comments. A lot of good comments. And I often say, even if you don't agree with what I'm saying, like the last video I made about the homeowners don't make payments. That caused a lot of people to, look at things differently, and some didn't agree, and that's all right. It's all right to disagree, right? I'm not saying I know everything. I don't know everything, right? I'm learning too, but, if you disagree, just be respectful. That's all I ask. Be respectful. We can have a respectful dialogue without, name calling and, saying I'm just doing this for money. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm not doing this for the money, right? You ask my clients, they'll tell you, I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this because I love to do it, and I want to see people win. I want to see people win with their own money. Yes, I am providing the service, and yes, I do get paid for my service, but I'm not doing this for money. And I learned when you're doing something because you're truly passionate about it, people will see that, they feel that, and they'll be more open to come to you. So if you disagree, that's all right. There's nothing wrong with that, but just be respectful. What I plan on doing, God willing, is starting in October, maybe maybe once a month on a Friday, one Friday out the month, and I'll give you more details on this. But we'll do a live stream on YouTube where I'll open up. People want to put comments in the chat box, put questions in the chat box live. You can answer your questions, on personal finances only. Personal finances only. You even have it where if you want to jump up and dialogue, you can do that. But it'll be once a month, probably on a Friday, where we'll come on live and answer your questions, personal finance questions. And if I don't know the answer, I'll let you know I don't know. I'm not afraid to say I don't know something. Like I said, I'm learning too, as in the midst of this. I'm learning. Somebody might teach me something I don't know, and there ain't nothing wrong with saying I don't know. But more details on that will be forthcoming. But we're going to try to do that on Friday nights, once a month. We'll have like a free financial Friday Q&A. Personal finances only, because that's another thing. A lot of times people want to intertwine personal finances with their business business, right? And that's two separate entities. You can't look at personal debt and business debt as the same. Like someone in the chat has said, in the comment section has said, well, Berkshire Hathaway has X amount of dollars in debt. All because I said, do you think Warren Buffett is checking his credit score? Berkshire Hathaway has X amount of dollars in debt. Berkshire Hathaway is a business. Business debt is different from personal debt. Two different things. How are they different, Taj? How are they different? Personal debt, you pay back. Business debt, your customers pay back. Right? Personal debt, you pay back. Business debt, your customers pay back. So business debt and personal debt, two different things. There's other differences also with tax, tax purposes and things of that nature, right? But, and this is what I mean, how people say things that they don't even realize they're saying. But because I'm on the other side, I hear these things, what they're saying. And when people say things like that, oh, Berkshire Hathaway has debt, or I'm going to use my mortgage and rent out a spot. I'm going to use my house and rent out a spot and pay and make cash flow and do this and that. You're intertwining. How you going to use your primary residence for business purposes? Those two different things. Two different things. And I'm not saying it can't work, but don't intertwine the two. Don't intertwine the two. There's two separate things. Business debt, personal debt, two separate things. And when people say things, when they say things like that, it tells me a lot. It tells me a lot. It tells me a lot, and they don't even realize it. Somebody say, what does it tell you? Well, one thing it tells me is that I can see that when you say stuff like that, it tells me that your finances may not be in order. May not be in order. Because if you're intertwining business and personal, that lets me know you got some things that may not be in order. And all I have to do is look at your credit report, and that'll tell me that I was right. And people, I said, well, like some people say, well, you don't believe in credit. I'm not saying, I never said that. I said credit is a tool. I said credit scores. It really doesn't mean anything unless you want to acquire more debt. Credit score is a tool. You don't need a credit score. It's a tool. When I say you don't need it, meaning it's not necessary. It's not an essential, right? You pull it out like, I don't need a hammer. I use a hammer at the right time. I pull it out. I don't need a hammer. I'm not walking around with a hammer all the time. I don't need it, right? It's a tool. When it's time for me to use it, I go get it, right? Same with a credit score. You don't need a credit score. right? When it's time to use it, okay, you have it, right? So I'm not against credit card use. Credit score, just a tool. What tells me more about you is your credit report. Because credit score don't mean nothing. Unless you want more debt, it don't mean anything. Credit score, people worship it. But a credit score don't tell you nothing about your net worth. The credit score don't tell you nothing about how much you have in retirement savings. Credit score is just an indicator that you pay back debt. And that's it. That's it. It tells you nothing about wealth. You got people with 800 credit scores and don't even have $800 in their savings account. What sense does that make? What sense does that make? You got an 800 credit score, but you don't even have $800 in your savings account. What sense does that make? So that's what I mean about credit score don't really mean anything. Doesn't mean anything. Credit report tells you everything. Tells you everything. Tells you who owns a part of the business of you. That's what credit report tells you, everything. So, but people are so caught up in the credit score. Like I said, the credit gods, the whole unholy trinity, the unholy trinity of debt, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Don't mean nothing. And they're private businesses. They're private businesses. That's why they're free. That's why they're always promoting credit cards. Get this credit card. You now see what credit card you apply, you qualify for. It's all a business. It's a business. And people so caught up in the businesses of other companies, and they neglect the business of themselves. They neglect the business of themselves. And this is why we say, that's why my slogan, the slogan of TRU Financial, is invest in yourself. Before you can invest in a business outside of yourself, you need to invest in yourself. Before you can invest in the stock market, before you can invest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, you need to invest in yourself. That's the business of you. No stock is going to get you to where you want faster than you will. No stock. No stock will get you to where you want to be at faster than you will. How do I know? Because I tried it. I tried playing the stock market and getting in the stock market. There ain't nothing wrong with investing in the stock market. It ain't nothing wrong with that. It's just businesses. You're investing in a business. As long as those businesses don't violate, your religious belief, the scriptures, there ain't nothing wrong with doing that. But no stock will get you to where you want faster than you. Why is that? Because you invest in the stock, okay, you get 8-10% interest. Okay. Right? But here you have credit card debt with 17% interest, 24% interest. Right? Stock market, you get 10% return. Credit card debt, 24% interest rate. Do the math. And my math, 24 is greater than 10. So I'm going to invest in myself by paying down that debt, paying off them credit cards before I go ahead and invest in the stock market. And then I'd eliminated a 24% interest rate. I'm going to do a video on this more in detail about the best investment that you can naturally, the best investment that you can contribute to or invest in is a paid off house. It's a paid off house. That's the best investment. It's paying off the house. Because then you would have eliminated most people the largest expense in their life. And you would have knocked off so much interest, saved so much money in interest by paying your house off early. that no stock could give that return in that amount of time. And I'm gonna do a video on that more in detail. Look at the amortization schedule and show you how much of a return you'll get in a month and in a year by paying off your mortgage early, by making extra payments on your mortgage. Just by making extra payments on your mortgage, how much money you will save. But that's for a later video. So again, I'm not against credit cards. I'm not against it. I'm not against credit card use. It's credit card debt. I'm not a credit repair person. I'm not a credit repair guy. I don't do that. See, credit repair companies, those companies, they don't fix the problem, right? All they do is put a Band-Aid on it. But they don't fix, they treat the symptom, but they don't treat the root cause. Right? Credit repair, okay, you repair your credit, knock off some items off your credit report, whatever, get some items removed. But most people that use these credit repair agencies use them, get a couple of items removed, and they right back in the same boat. Right back in the same boat. So they didn't really fix the problem, they just treated the symptom. The best way to clean up your credit is by paying off your debt. That's the only way you can clean up your credit. People talk about, I want to fix my credit, pay off your debt. That's how you fix up your credit. It's that simple. It's not complex. These credit repair companies out there giving people false hope, because they're not treating the true problem. The true problem is not anything outside of you, but it's something within you. And I'm saying this because it was me. I used the credit repair agency years ago. I tried it. I was giving them money every month, right? They would take off, delete a couple of items, his credit score would go up a couple of points, but didn't do anything. It still didn't treat the root of the problem. And the root of the problem was me. I was the problem. It wasn't until I woke up to realize that I was a problem that now I'm free from the 40-hour work week. I'm free from it. And I'm not, even though I'm still working, but being free from the 40-hour work week is more than just the physical, but it's the mental. And I'm free mentally from a 40-hour work week. And pretty soon I'm gonna be free physically. That's more details to come on that. But if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Leave a comment again if it's something you don't agree with, or something you didn't understand, something you like. Feel free to leave a comment. If you're ready to start on your journey to get off the rat wheel, then click on the link in the description box. Visit me at TRUFincoaching.com. Set up your 30-minute consultation, and then we'll go from there. Again, it's time to invest in yourself so you can be free. Peace and blessings.